introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway. Two-time NBA MVP, two-time NBA champion, AP Athlete of the Year, and two-time Olympic gold medalist. Always a good day when we've got Steph Curry with The Shot with us, who's also doing great work in the community, teaming up with Brita to provide clean drinking water to schools. Steph live from Oakland today as he announces the launch of the Brita Filter for the Future program. Steph, thanks so much for being with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, first things first, you know where we're going, the knee injury. So we're hearing you're going to miss the first round of the playoffs, but when do you expect to be back on the court?
I mean, it's all guesswork at this point, but I know it's at least 3 weeks, so hopefully at that point I'll be able to kind of reassess how the healing process is going and how quickly I can get back to 100% to get back out there on the floor and be with my teammates. So I'm working hard, trying to get out, like I said, back on the court as soon as possible. But right now, you got to be patient. You got to let the healing process happen, and that's what's going on.
Steph, Stephen A. here. I believe I am talking to the greatest shooter I have ever seen, not to mention one of the nicest superstars I've ever known. Let me ask you a question, though. I'm watching these Golden State Warriors right now and how they look without you. And despite the fact that I believe you to be the greatest shooter ever, I am very, very concerned at how you guys have been looking without you. How concerned are you about how this team has looked without you?
I'm not concerned at all because it's not just me. We've had a rash of injuries with pretty much all our guys. Myself, I've been out for with ankle stuff throughout the course of the season, not the knee, but KD's been out for a bunch of games. Draymond's been out. Clay's still out. So, we're building our momentum to not only just being healthy and getting everybody back on the court, but, building that playoff intensity that we know we're going to need to get through this crazy Western Conference and try to get back to the finals. So, my team's, we've had an interesting year to say the least, but we're, second in the West, dealing with all these injuries that eventually we're going to get everybody back. So we know we need to get that playoff intensity and build that momentum, but I'm not worried at all right now.
Steph, since you guys got ridiculously great 3 years ago, I haven't seen a team, even when you lost to the Cavs, I thought the Warriors are going to beat everybody. I don't see a real challenge to them. I was wrong once. But this year, I see a real challenge to you guys. I see Houston. In fact, I'm making Houston the favorites to go all the way this year, and that includes against you guys. Do you see Houston as a different kind of challenge than challenges over the last 3 seasons?
I mean, they're playing amazing. There's no denying that. And what James has been doing when you're teaming up with CP, and they're first in the West, right? So they've had an amazing regular season. But as we look forward to the playoffs, we know what we're about. But for us, we can't fall into the trap of just worrying about Houston. If you look at all up and down the standings, man, there's tough teams and tough outs all the way, through the rankings. So we understand what it takes for us to be a championship team, the details that we need to focus on, the confidence and togetherness that we need to play with. And honestly, we feel like if we can control, or if we do control, we can control and play the way, that we expect to play, that nobody can beat us. And that's the confidence we have. So we know it's not going to be tough. And it wasn't tough last year or the year before. It's not going to be, or it wasn't easy those last 2 years, and it was not
Freudian slip, Steph. That's confident. That's a good Freudian slip.
we understand what the process is and what it takes to be a champion, no matter who we play. So I like where we are right now, and looking forward to the journey.
Steph, my question is a two-part one. I want to know, number one, how concerned are you about your health as the playoff approaches? And I want your reaction also to what Steve Kerr had to say in terms of saying, even without Steph Curry, we believe we should be able to beat anybody. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he was saying. I'd like your reaction to that.
I mean, obviously, I want to be out there and be playing and understand that when I'm out there, we are a better team. But until I'm not, or until I am back on the court, the other guys got to step up and make it happen. And I know I have confidence in their ability to do it. Coach has confidence in their ability to do it. And KD, Draymond, Clay, Andre, Sean, all the other guys are going to play like that. So I'm not worried about that at all. For me, obviously, I'm treating the injury as a blessing in disguise to really get my mind and my body right for when the comeback's going to happen. To, like you said, not rush it. The worst thing I want to do is come back and be playing at 75, 85%, and just to be out there, be playing. I really got to take my time with it, and I think there's enough time leading up to the playoffs where I can make that happen and get back onto the court playing like I want to.
ESPN.com had a recent list out a couple days ago, top 10, and you made the top 10 most influential basketball players who ever lived. And you certainly reinvented the modern point guard, shooting from half court, and that being a shot, not a desperation shot, with the handles, the whole thing. But now a lot of other guys are starting to approximate what you do. What do you think when you see them play like you?
I mean, everybody is different, but I think the fact that, the way that I've catered to my strengths as a basketball player and use a three-point threat and my handle as a way for me to, be a playmaker on this level and be great at it. Hopefully that inspires, the next generation to work on their game, to try to emulate those type of things, but to do it in their own way. There's so many, everybody wants to compare a player to another player, or, the up-and-coming guy, who does he play like in the league and all that type of stuff. That's all fun. It's great for conversation, but everybody's unique and everybody has something to offer to this game. And
for sure.
And for me, I'm able to do it, and that's something for me that I'm proud about for sure.
Steph, I'm hearing you got a very busy schedule, but I got to get this in. Switching gears for a second, I'm a big fan of Brita. We use it at my house, but tell us about your work with them.
It's great to hear that, but I understand how right now being able to partner with Brita on the Filter for the Future campaign to help school systems that are dealing with water contamination reduce their necessity on bottled water. And so $1 of every filter, long last Brita or pitcher that's sold, $1 of that purchase is going to go towards committing some Brita hydration stations to schools all around the country.
I'm being told
to give their students clean water source.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm being told we have to let you go right this second because you're very busy. Thank you so much. You're literally changing the game at every level and every way. We're rooting for you.
I appreciate it.
Next week, the guests don't stop. We'll have Rookie of the Year candidate Donovan Mitchell will be with us. We'll ask him how he plans to carry the Jazz into the playoffs. And up next, the Canelo Triple G rematch is looking doubtful. How now that Canelo's been punished by the Nevada Sports Athletic Commission, but somebody at the desk thinks calling it off would be a huge mistake. Stay tuned.
I don't know this Mexican, but I don't know you right now.
I get it.